car is stuck.
Oh dear.
So can't take the jack with him. So he's not going anywhere. Fitzer is looking as though he won't get onto the grid. He certainly didn't get out in race 1, but those two on the same row, row 9, 17th and 18th, will keep you updated. I think it's two Hungarians, isn't it? Jose Maria Lopez, all eyes on him, trying to keep cool in the afternoon sun here at Twin Ring Motegi. It is, of course, 145 kilometers north of Tokyo, but a warm day nevertheless. Jose Maria Lopez leading an all Citroen front row. Ivan Muller, his old adversary, alongside him. Mehdi Banani is in third place in the Sebastian Loeb Racing Citroen. And then it's the lead Honda, Thiago Montero. Did a good job in qualifying in his Honda Civic. Tom Chilton is in 5th place ahead of Nestor Girolami. If he can get off the line, expect the Argentine to go forward in this race, although it looked as though the Hondas, Volvos I should say, were struggling with their tyres in that opening race. Nicky Katzberg, Thed Bjork on the 4th row, 7th and 8th. Then it's Rob Huff and Norby Michelis, our opening race winner, 9th and 10th. James Thompson leads Gregoire de Moustier. Then it's Hugo Valente, Gabriele Tarquini with a lot of work to do. Both the Ladovestras on row 7. Ryo Mishigami, the hometown hero, the Japanese, 43 years of age, drafted in to make 4 factory Hondas for this round, is 15th ahead of Jean-Philippe. Will Fitzer and Nagy make the grid? We don't know. Tom Coronel, courtesy of his engine change after free practice 2, is at the back of the grid aboard his Chevrolet RML. And we've done some maths. Jose Maria Lopez needs to be clear by 165 points to be provisionally crowned world champion here. We are not sure if we're going to Thailand, so we shall keep you posted on that. And looking at the results of race 1, I think that's the second time this year, only the second time this year, where Citroen hasn't been on the podium. So if you've got stats to prove me wrong, please do get in touch via Twitter, but I'm pretty sure that's the second time only that a Citroen has not been on the podium. Such has been their dominance.
Citroen's definitely had the race pace in the middle to latter part of that one, though, and looking out the front row, it's looking pretty good for them. There's only this one stat. Jose Maria Lopez has won every race 2 this year, bar 2 races, 2 rounds. So he's every feature race, bar 2 rounds. So he's looking pretty strong in this one, and his race pace was super strong at the end of that first one.
He has 7 wins, 8 podiums, 7 wins, 1 second. So he either wins or he doesn't. It's not a bad stat.
That's a very good assumption of you, Tom. He either wins or he doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. I've worked this race out. I've nailed it. I might make a comeback.
I mean, the one I want to watch is Girolami.
Main race here at Twin Ring Motegi about to get underway, and you're looking at the Lada Vesta of Nicky Katzberg. Katzberg, who was rather uncomplimentary about the driving Jose Maria Lopez in race 1, has a bit of work to do on the 4th row in 7th place overall. And then, well, he's got Nestor Girolami, the Argentine, who's making his World Touring Car debut this weekend, and he's acquitted himself fairly well.
Yes, and I mean, just going back to Katzberg, it's he's a breath of fresh air in the championship. He speaks his mind, but you speak to him out of the car, he's one of the most charming, quiet guys you'll ever meet. So witty with his sense of humour. So, but he does seem to have a good temper on him well, which is great for us to watch. But back to Girolami, yeah, he's been absolutely ballistically fast all weekend, and then it was really disappointing in race 1. He was very underwhelming and made little progress, but the Volvo, despite its weight advantage, did seem to struggle with its race pace, and we saw Bjork go backwards, but it'd be nice to see if Girolami can make some progress from that third row.
Yeah, the Michelin anthem rings in the background here at Twin Ring Motegi. Anthem done, and we continue our trip up the grid. We've got to Ivan Muller, who has a clear sight of turn one. Also has in his peripheral vision his teammate Jose Maria Lopez, and I think it's going to be a fascinating battle between these two. Lopez got the better of Muller in race one with a little tap to aid the Frenchman wide. And well, Ivan Muller, if he gets a chance, may just return the favour.
Ivan always returns favours like that, but Lopez seemed to give everyone a little tap on the way through. But again, that's part of touring car close racing, so there was nothing. I don't think there was anything really malicious going through. It's people just looking for. The cars are so evenly matched, looking for track space.
And do you know what greats? The world champions, they tend to be robust, but they always come out on top. That's the difference.
Robust or ruthless?
Ruthless,
You've
yeah.
got to be just, you know, no quarter given. You've got your eye on one thing, and that's why they are, you know, like Lopez, the multiple world champion.
So Fisker and Nagy will update you on whether or not they are on the grid. Well, certainly Nagy's not. Green flag waved, and the formation lap here at Twin Ring Motegi gets going. Almost doesn't get going for Honda Thiago Monteiro. Incredibly slow away, stalled it, managed to get it restarted. Not always the easiest thing to do, Matt, is it? Once you stall it, sometimes these things don't restart straight away.
Yeah, and you don't really want to start them with a gear, so you've got to select neutral because it can load the crank up. So you just got to follow a little bit of procedure to fire them up.
So, drama averted for Thiago Monteiro. Tom Coronel's going to talk us through his lap.
There's also an oval which we crossed twice. Very technical track and very strong under the brakes. So you have to take care of the brakes. So you will see me many times side by side because I need the cooling. Hard braking point, left-hander, second gear up to third gear. Sometimes you have their wheel spin. It could be flat in qualifying when you have new tires, but in the race, okay. It's unbelievable hot. It's our second race at the moment, so yeah, there will be some difficulties for sure with the drivers. Hard braking point again here at the DHL sign. Sorry to mention it, but as you notice, one of the fastest delivery boys on the planet. And here we cross the bridge. This is the bridge where the oval is for the IndyCar, but this is a long time ago. High speed right-hander, easy full throttle. We arrive at the high-speed chicane, back to third gear. Entry, very, very, very fast. You touch the curb, you see the car moving a little bit, and you prepare the car for the exit. So you slow the car down, not with the brakes, but let the scraping of the tires, and you accelerate to the exit. Short straight, hard braking point, second gear, hairpin. Very strong. I go completely over, as you see, to have a straight exit. They put the tire barriers there for us as touring cars, because otherwise they're afraid that we're the land mowers. Yeah? Okay, hairpin. We're completely on the other side of the track. We have a hairpin, second gear, braking 70 meter, and then all the way downhill and a long straight. We'll see this big time downhill, and then you arrive at the chicane for the straight. Guys, thank you very much for watching it. Sorry I'm completely in the back, but for sure I have a big task. Keep watching. I
think Tom Coronel did rather well with that.
But you can never shut him up. He's always got something to say, which is fantastic. He's like one of those little tiny tears where you pull the cord and you can't stop him talking until the cord's gone in.
That's a great comparison. Tom Coronel likened to a tiny tear.
Lopez just warming his brakes up there on the as he forms up in his grid box, getting the clutch nice and warm, getting the brakes nice and warm for when he arrives full chat at turn 1.
Jose Maria Lopez arrives on his grid spot. He's got Ivan Muller alongside him. It's an all Citroen front row for the main race here at Twin Ring Motegi. Who's going to lead down to turn 1? We're moments away from finding out. The green flag will wave at the back of the grid, and then the red lights will burn. There's the man we're looking for. And there's some confusion, but looks as though we're ready. All eyes on the red lights now at the top of your screen. There they are. It's a reasonably long hold, and we're underway for the main race. It's a good start from Jose Maria Lopez. Ivan Muller going with him. They're almost side by side down into turn 1, but it's Lopez who shuts the door on Ivan Muller. And further back, it looks as though Thiago Monteiro has managed to get through and hold his third position. It's Katzberg wide in the Lada Vestra on the exit of turn 1, but Monteiro is into third, and Mehdi Banani side by side with Tom Chilton, and Chilton on the outside again. And this is what happened to him in race 1. Will he be able to slot back into line? We're on board with Ted Bjork, the two Hondas of Norby Michelis and Rob Huff ahead of us. And Tom Chilton has lost the place to Mehdi Banani, but all importantly for him, the Volvo of Nesta Girolami hasn't followed through, and James Thompson aboard the allincall.com Chevrolet Cruise in the mix as we were aboard one of the Lada Vestras. But expert stuff from Jose Maria Lopez in the early stages, Matt.
It is indeed, and Chilton's now got the double problem. He doesn't want Banani to get away, but his mirrors are going to be absolutely full of a bright blue Volvo of Nesta Girolami, who the Volvos in race 1 were very, very fast in the opening stages. Katzberg seems to be, well, all the Lada seem to be picking up the dust and everywhere, but Katzberg got shuffled out again on the exit of turn 1, just almost a repeat of race 1. But everyone, it's quite a clean lap, to be fair, lap 1.
It's not over yet. Don't speak too early as the dirt is kicked up off the exit of turn 10 down to turn 11. Tom Coronel on the move. We saw that as the order filters out. It's Lopez from Muller, Thiago Monteiro in third. Then it's Mehdi Banani, Tom Chilton, Nesta Girolami as they race through underneath the super speedway into this tricky final sequence of corners, negotiated safely by the front of the field. And now Ivan Muller has his work cut out because Lopez, that's a quick opening lap. And we're looking down through the times, and it looks as though, where is Tom Coronel? Still at the back. I thought he'd made more progress than that. Can anybody see Tom Coronel? We're looking at the battle between Ted Bjork and Norby Michelis. It looks as though that is Rob Huff in the mix there. Yes, it is. This is a battle for around 8th, 9th and 10th, and on board with Rob Huff getting a good look at the back of one of the Volvos. More dirt being kicked up, and who's that being squeezed? That is James Thompson trying to be squeezed out, but he has none of it and pushes the Lada Vestra wide. That was Nicky Katzberg. I think he pushed wide, and Gabriele Tarquini's now got ahead of Katzberg, and Tarquini on the outside of Thompson having a go, and Tarquini's not going to back off, and he's going to go for the gap, and Thompson's got to give him room. Good racing from the pair, experienced touring car drivers, and exciting racing from Gabriele Tarquini. He wasn't going to back off, was he?
That was Tomo actually on the attack to start with, always giving Gabriele something back. They're old adversaries, good, very good friends here, but Yeah, Tomo was on the attack, got Katzberg, and then Tarquini saw the opportunity and had 2 for the price of 1. But
there's nothing more annoying when you put in all the effort to pass the car in front and you're back to where you were, albeit with a different larder in front of you.
One of the great things is Tomo's proving, with his absence, he's not full-time at the moment. He's still one of the super stand-ins. He's lost none of his racecraft or aggression to try and move forward. Oh, who's that getting out of Skiff? One of the larders getting Skiff at the back, pushed out again. Katzberg seems to be selecting reverse gear at the moment. He's gone backwards at 1,000,000 miles an hour. He's had a horror story of the first couple of laps.
Hugo Valent going backwards as well. So the 2 larders that are in the wars in race 1 continue to be in the wars now. And Nesta Girolami around the outside of Tom Chilton. Chilton doesn't let that happen, and a good bit of driving from the pair of them. Tom Chilton with Nesta Girolami on the outside, defended that corner well and just gave him a bit of a tap mid-corner there. It's almost a double apex, isn't it, as they come through turns 2 and 3. And Girolami found himself having to back out, otherwise I think he would have been on the grass coming out.
That's just frustration of Girolami looking to the outside, because that was never going to happen. The only way that was going to happen is if he would have completely cleared him by the time he got to the entrance to 2. But Chilton is definitely the cork in this bottle. If he gets Girolami through, they're all going to bounce on him, so he's got to be keep quite a tight line here.
And the problem is the more vigorously you defend, the more ground you lose, because the others up front are in a rhythm. They're on the racing line, you're not. You're finding different braking spots, slowing your minimum speed, trying to protect your position. And the gap now you can see between Mehdi Banani and Tom Chilton really opening up. And Tom Chilton doesn't just need to get up to the back of Mehdi Banani, he really needs to get ahead of him in terms of the championship fight that these 2 are embroiled in, the Independence Trophy. And Nesta Girolami still looking at Tom Chilton, and what a move for position further back. I think Ted Bjork may have got Norby Michelis.
Yeah, Girolami needs to do Chilton fast because the Volvos go downhill in the second half of the race. So he needs to sort of get clear and get some air to get a half-decent result. I mean, we were hoping we were going to see Girolami on the podium today, but that doesn't look as though it's going to be the case at the minute. Oh, Chilton sliding wide. He's there for the taking at the moment.
He managed to gather it all back up again, though. Good stuff from the Brit. And Girolami now behind still with Ted Bjork ahead of Norby Michelis. So Ted Bjork has got ahead of Norby Michelis up to 7th place. Michelis race 1 winner down to 8th. Rob Huff still in 9th. And Tom Chilton, the cork in the bottleneck at the moment. The 2 Hondas, the Polestar Cyan Racing machines, right up behind the Sebastian Loeb Citroen of Tom Chilton. This is the battle for 5th, and it's a good battle. Nice, clean racing from the drivers so far. And Nesta Girolami, a rookie in World Touring cars, right in the thick of it from the off, and he's almost getting a baptism of fire here.
Yeah, on the run down to 9, and then we got 10, the hairpin, the 180-degree hairpin right after this one, which will lead onto the old start straight, the fastest point on the circuit. So Girolami needs a real good exit from this next corner to get a run on Chilton, because looks like the Volvo is it's close. Is that Katzberg having to go back at Tomo? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Tomo's not going to let Katzberg run out around the outside.
Old touring car move, ease him to the outside. What he does, you just ease him onto the loose stuff. You lose a bit of traction, and then you're away. Now we can't see how the Volvo and Chilton got on up at the front.
So James Thompson still ahead of Katzberg there, 11th and 10th. Out front it's Jose Maria Lopez, who's widened the gap to about 1.5 seconds ahead. Ivan Muller, still Thiago Montero in 3rd. He's got a little gap, albeit ahead of Mehdi Banani. There they are flashing through the screen. Then it's a larger gap to Tom Chilton, who's still holding off the 2 Polestar Cyan Racing Volvos. And that seems to be a bit of a bigger battle, because the 2 Hondas of Norby Michelis and Rob Huff are now catching up. So this is a 4-way battle. Girolami on the inside.
That was a good move. That was a good move. That was definitely a car on the limit. limit coming into there.
You could see the car squirreling away underneath Nesta Girolami. He had absolutely no doubt what he was going to do. Sent it up the inside of Tom Chilton, and Thed Bjork trying to follow it through. Chilton wise to it, and just blocks the line of the Swede. But Nesta Girolami, great move down into turn 2, textbook stuff.
Yeah, Chilton's definitely trying to drive a wide car. It'll be interesting to see how quickly Nesta Girolami can make space now, and if he can catch up to that leading few.
We'll catch up to Mehdi Benani. There is Mehdi Benani with Thiago Monteiro ahead of him, and then it's the two Citroens up front. We're on board with Tom Coronel, and there's the battle that we've been embroiled in since the beginning of the race. Nesta Girolami ahead now, Tom Chilton. Looks as though Rob Huff is ahead of Norby Michelis in the inter-team battle between the two Hondas that are both behind Thed Bjork.
Katzberg on board with Katzberg here. He's definitely got, seems to have found his feet now, and he's got Tomo back under pressure. He's back at 1,000,000 miles an hour in the opening couple of laps, but definitely seems to have settled down on his lap times and everything, and he's trying to move forward again now.
These two battling for 11th and 12th. It's going to take a lot to ruffle the feathers of Tomo. He's a fairly cool, calm, and collected customer, and he's got plenty of experience under his belt as well.
Dominique Greer, head of All Inkle Motorsport there.
He looks a bit like
the,
Eric Boudier, doesn't he?
A little bit, I guess, yeah. Maybe it's the Eric Morecambe glasses that do the trick.
Essential fashion item. The Lada Vestia crew looking on. Still, Nicky Katzberg can't get past James Thompson, that's why. And then you've got Gregoire de Moustier behind them. He's in a race with himself.
Just putting a wheel on the outside there, getting a bit swiffy. The Chevrolet running with the RML 1.6 engine, which is it's always good at the top end. That's and they it's one of the non-factory engines running here. The Lada's run the Eureka engine as well, but everyone else is the Honda is a full factory from Japan, the R&D, and Citroen obviously is a factory Citroen engine as well.
And unsurprisingly, Ryo Michigami's Honda very quick through the speed traps this weekend. Quickest of all on par, the Volvos, and that's mainly due to the fact that they're carrying no weight. Tom Coronel hasn't quite made the progress he would have liked. He's 16th with Hugo Belenda ahead of him, 15th. And then you've got Ryo Michigami in the Honda that I just mentioned, 14th. Out front it is still Jose Maria Lopez. That gap now up to 2 seconds over Ivan Muller. Ivan Muller does not have anything for the Argentine at this stage in the race as we approach the halfway mark. Thiago Monteiro's a first second behind the lead Honda, and it doesn't look as though we're going to have a Honda double unless something dramatic happens in the closing stages here at Twin Ring Motegi. But if anything, Thiago Monteiro will have to fight for his podium, because Mehdi Benani's not too far behind that battle.
Yeah, that's my question, Tom. Are we going? Can we see a Citroen 1-2-3 in this last one? It depends how much Benani's car can come on in the second half of the race, much like the factory Citroens did in the first half, but in the first race, because the latter half of the first race, those factory Citroens, they were over half a second clear of anything.
With Gabriele Tarquini in 10th, and you've got the Honda Rob Huff ahead, so it was actually Norbert Michelis that stayed ahead of Rob Huff. Those two Hondas 8th and 9th, then it's Thed Bjork and Tom Chilton, they're 6th and 7th. Mehdi Benani fans will be hoping that Citroen comes on strong and does challenge Thiago Monteiro. The fans will want to see Honda on the podium, and Tom Chilton fans will be hoping that he can get back on terms with Nesta Girolami. Mehdi Benani in turn can't get to grips with the pace of Thiago Monteiro. A few fascinating dynamics playing out as the season heads into the last quarter.
Girolami pumping in his fastest lap of the race on the last on the last tour on his 6th lap, which is quite unusual, but still, unfortunately, I have to add that it's not as quick as the Citroens are lapping up front. It's a good two tenths sharp of what they're doing now, never mind it being his fastest lap of the race.
The all-in call Munich Motorsport Chevrolet RML Cruise. That's a long sentence of Jeff Thompson, still ahead of the Lada Vestra of Nicky Katzberg. Katzberg having to earn a crust here.
Both these two, Tomo and Katzberg, are lapping faster than Huffy and Tarquini in front of them. So if they can stop squabbling, they might be able to draw it behind the other two.
Rio Mishigami defensive into turn 1. Hugo Valent not looking at the outside. And an update on Fitzer and Nagy. They're both running, albeit at the back.
Yeah, I just saw that. It's good that they've obviously got them going, because otherwise it's a long way to go around the world just to sit in the box, isn't it?
Rio Mishigami goes defensive, and the old textbook switch back. Hugo Valent takes him deep, brings the car back to the apex and gets the undercut on the exit. Great racing from Valent. So the Frenchman through. Rio Mishigami now has a slightly different liveried yellow car behind of Tom Coronel. It's not a Lada, it's a Chevrolet Cruise. And Mishigami maybe feeling the heat now.
There's still status quo at the front.
One of the Citroen engineers with my initials, TG there. All of my headphones. Right, James Thompson and Nicky Katzberg. Katzberg still on the outside. He's got the run, but it doesn't matter because Thompson's got him where he wants, and Katzberg will not be driving around the outside. Or will he?
Tomo gives him space.
Tomo gave him a lot of space there.
Well, it's an out-and-out trick race down. Who's going to have the fast engine? Tomo's got the inside for 11.
Tomo's run a bit wide, and now Katzberg will easily have run. I think that was almost a bit of the white flag. Good racing by Tomo. They've raced hard, but Tomo kind of acknowledging that Katzberg is quicker, and up at turn 10 there didn't make it difficult.
Tomo's a seasoned challenger as well. I mean, he's won championships and everything, and he probably recognises that he's not a full-time rider in this gig. So don't really mess with the with the regular boys.
Yeah, he's had a tough race.
Yeah, put up a fight, but don't be an arse.
Yeah, exactly. Said it perfectly. Jose Maria Lopez. Look, that gap continues to grow and grow over Ivan
But
Muller.
he's closing in on Montero, though, isn't he?
Well, this is the battle that we were hoping may happen. And
Citroen are going to be looking at that 1, 2, 3 after the Honda dominance in the first one. So that's this man Lopez just cruising it at the front. He'll be watching his mirrors, keeping an eye on Ivan. He'll have got a gap now, and he'll just be managing that gap.
I mean, in touring car terms, this is a huge gap in 9 laps. I mean, this is Ivan Muller he's driving away from here.
Yeah, and I think Muller would have resigned himself to the fact that Lopez is going to win it, and so he'll just be managing the gap to Montero. So that the two factory citizens are just managing the race in front of them.
See how he was just up resting his left hand there.
A little bit of an adjustment on brake bias there, just down behind the lever. So he's going into one of the heavy braking areas. Maybe just adding a bit more rear brake. The front brakes will deteriorate more than the rear brakes, and so you just need to balance it out a bit.
Especially downhill there, you also want to try and get the back of the car down a bit as well.
Yeah, also your front tyres are going to deteriorate, so as you lose grip on the front end, you need to balance it out on where the braking is.
So have you started to do your maths yet? We need to know what the gap was going into this. I didn't write that down, so that's a fundamental flaw.
I've done maths. I think Lopez should get 25 points for this one.
Oh, right, yeah. There you go, brilliant. Thanks for the update.
You can take it from there, Tom.
Oh dear. 4 laps to go. Jose Maria Lopez managing the gap perfectly. Ivan Muller is away from Thiago Monteiro. He's not under a huge amount of pressure for second. And if anything, you think the dynamic here is, will Monteiro be able to hold off Mehdi Banani? The Citroen's very good in the closing stages of the race, but Monteiro has been the pace of the Honda stable, and he qualified very well in 4th position. If anyone can do it, Thiago Monteiro can do it. He has to do it. He's second in the championship. He's going to lose some points to Jose Maria Lopez. He can't afford to lose too many. If Lopez moves away from here with a gap of 165 points or more, and the series does not go to Thailand, which is looking likely, then Jose Maria Lopez will be champion. No one will be able to catch him in the closing 3 rounds. What a series.
Citroen in the Manufacturers' Championship, Tom.
Yeah.
The Maton's crew.
Right, Tom Coronel is right up behind and almost into the back of Hugo Valente.
We're back on with Tomo. Oh no, is that Coronel? Yeah, it's the
Coronel.
black bonnet that does it.
I tell you what, Hugo Valente's mood wasn't great after the first race. If he'd have got fired off by accident there, because that was an innocent mistake there from Tom Coronel, that wouldn't have heightened the mood.
Yeah, the Lada garage kind of been a really happy place after race 1, because Katzberg was spewing and Valente wasn't best pleased either, was he?
I don't do many FIA World Touring Car commentaries, but when I do, the Lada squad seem to be in wars. So they'll probably think I'm a bad omen.
It's your fault. I'm going to tell them.
Yeah, blame me. I've been used to it being my fault. 3 laps to go, and I tell you what, Mehdi Banani, you know, he's not all over the back by any way stretch of the imagination.
He's just sat there. I don't know what he... Well, because I think the two factory sections at the front have got more pace. If they needed it, they could have a game. But so I was hoping Banani was going to sort of try and get stuck into Monteiro and give us something to shout about.
Well, Banani can't afford to throw it away. He has to finish there. He's ahead of Chilton, and they're the manufacturer's points.
Very good, because he's got Girolami in front, in between him and Chilton. Oh no, Girolami isn't in the WTC trophy, is he?
Yeah, so just looking on Twitter as we go into the closing stages, Nick Innocent, a question for you, Matt Neal. How much can they adjust in the car? Is it just brake bias?
But the car doesn't slow down.
Yeah, he's running out of brakes now. He's running out of grip in the tyre and also running out of brakes, so he's got to manage that a bit. Yeah, gone are the days we used to be able to adjust the rear bars and basically the roll stiffness in the car, but a lot of that's been taken away now. But it's really brake bias. But you'll have 2 adjusters. You'll have a main adjuster and a little lever. You can also adjust it corner to corner, so they can run a little bit more brake into the faster corners, and then into the slower corners. Want to run a bit more rear brake, and they can literally flick that backwards and forwards, and it'll be somewhere around about the gear lever. It's a tiny little lever which is about 2 inches tall, and they run, the reason they run more rear brake into the slow stuff, so they can just back it in a wee bit more. I mean, John Philippi, what are you doing?
The big object in front of you on the apex is not moving as quickly as you. You have to make advances for that. And John Philippi just clattering into the back of Mishigami there. And yeah, you've got to be better than that. This time he's made it stick. Mishigami, I thought I'd let him go, but he did start to make his way down to the apex. But Philippi through with 2 laps to go. That is 4:16. Ticking down into the final stages here. Also, hello to Daniel on Twitter. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the action from Motegi here on Eurosport. Jose Maria Lopez has, although he didn't get on the rostrum in race 1, but driven away from the field in race 2. You kind of run out of superlatives for this chap.
He's a bit handy, isn't he? Just another adjustment the drivers can play with is a lot with the engine and the engine mapping.
I was hoping you'd bring that up because you showed me a picture of your car with all the emojis on it, and I thought that was absolutely hilarious.
But they've got more in this
emoji.
because they obviously run anti-lag systems on these because they with an air restrictor, unlike the British cars. Oh, Carl, he's got hot gear lever as well. That's just the exhaust going down the central tunnel of the car. The exhaust is the temperature it's running at. Well, the primaries will be running, it's the manifold at the back of the engine, the bulkhead. They'll be running it in excess of 1,000 degrees C. And they're made out of Inconol, which is, it's more heat resilient material. But you see these engines and exhaust systems on the dyno, which is the test cells, they're not running red hot or white hot, but those primaries actually become translucent. You can see through the steel. So that just shows you how hot it is, and your brakes are going to be running, the brakes will be peaking at over 1,000 degrees C in the heavy braking area. So it just shows you, aluminium melts at 650 degrees C, steel's around 1,200. So it just shows you the temperatures, these cars are putting in.
Well, the drivers are more likely to melt before the cars, but it's normally the feet that get hot, because what happens is your heels rest on the floor of the bulkhead, don't they? And you can't lift them up, and it's normally your feet that get. I mean, I've seen so many racing drivers' boots with the sole actually melted. The rubber, talk about melting temperatures, that the rubber actually melts on the shoe. That's how hot it's got to be. I've never really heard too many complaints about the gear stick, but that just shows.
Is this Lopez slowing up?
Yes, it is.
No,
Jose Lopez. So what has happened here?
We missed that one.
Is this for Muller to get second place in the championship?
Yeah, maybe. Could be, because he needs points because he's back in fourth in the championship at the moment.
So have we missed Jose Maria Lopez making a mistake, or is that an obvious switch for position?
Well, it's
Drivers points 120, so we're not at the 165 points mark, so no way that Jose Maria Lopez can be crowned champion here. Have Citroën played a switch here? Look, here he is, and it looks as though he's just let him through.
Yeah, there you go.
Unless he's got a problem, but he wouldn't be able to continue the pace he's got now.
Back now, so
drama here at Twin Ring Motegi. Team orders at Citroën, and this is to help Ivan Muller in his championship fight with Thiago Monteiro and Rob Huff, because Rob Huff had moved up to third, hadn't he, after the first race in the points. I'll just confirm that with you. But yeah, Rob Huff had actually moved ahead of Ivan Muller, and Ivan Muller is really fighting Thiago Monteiro and Rob Huff for that second place in the points. And look how much they've backed into Thiago Monteiro. Is that to give Mehdi Bennani the hurry up?
No, I think Muller wasn't that far in front of Monteiro, so by the time you stuck another Citroën between them.
They'd want Mehdi Bennani to try and get up at least on terms with Monteiro and have a go into turn 11. We're rounding turn 9, then we'll have a short run up to the loop at the top of the old start and finish straight, which is turn 10, and then the last real overtaking opportunity, the downhill braking zone that is turn 11. It doesn't look as though Mehdi Bennani is going to be close enough. Ivan Muller is going to win this race, and believe it or not, it's going to be his first win of 2016.
Is that right?
Albeit gifted to him by Jose Maria Lopez.
It'll be interesting to see how Ivan takes that when he gets out of the car.
Can't be a great feeling for Ivan Muller. He'll take the points, and he's coming out of turn 14 for his first win of the season with 3 rounds still to go, maybe 4. Ivan Muller wins it here at Twin Ring Motegi. Jose Maria Lopez flashes his lights in second.
Strong weekend for Monteiro. Okay, he's not got to the top of the pile. Double podium for him, so another great weekend for him and Honda.
Thiago Monteiro across the line in third. Mehdi Bennani didn't manage to get up to the Honda man. He finishes 4th. Nestor Girolami holds on 5th. Tom Chilton down in 6th, but all importantly for him, in 7th. So what's going on here? That's an Argentinian flag for Jose Maria Lopez. I'm pretty sure he can't be crowned champion without an official announcement that we're not going to Thailand, and I'm pretty sure he hasn't got enough points. But well, no. Let's do the maths here. So I think I've got the maths wrong. There's 4 races still to go. So we have got the maths wrong. 4 times 25 is 100 plus that. So he got the 120 points because it was 115 that he needed, not the 165. But we still need official confirmation that we're not going to Thailand. So if we don't go to Thailand, Jose Maria Lopez is world champion. He's making a bit of a celebration out of it, but it's not official.
Well, I think he's been pretty stunned all weekend. I mean, the lap he put in qualifying was just meteoric, wasn't it? I think it stunned himself as well as all his own crew, never mind everybody else. Then he's just backed that up with 2 solid. He raced like he was still hungry, like he still wanted it in race 1, and he's just been like a clock in race 2.
I thought it was strange, Lopez giving up a victory to Ivan Muller. He wouldn't have done that without something in return. That return was still enough points for a World Championship if they don't go to Thailand. So, quick commercial break, and then we'll be back here for all the celebrations at Twin Motegi. Muted celebrations for Ivan Muller, and all the noise around this man, Jose Maria Lopez, who, and I will reiterate this, I know he's effectively a world champion because the Thai round is all but cancelled, but the World Motorsport Council still have to confirm that, and until they confirm it, the FIA can't officially crown him as world champion. But you can take it from me, Jose Maria Lopez is effectively your world champion for 2016. He is now going to be a 3-time world champion, and he's come into World Touring Cars. He's not looked back, and the superlatives, well, you run out of them, I said earlier, and I have to say what he's done, the way he's carried himself, the attention to detail, his speed, his professionalism, his character, it's difficult to fault him.
The old guard over the other side, Ivan and Tiago, thinking, thank God we're getting rid of him at the end of the year. So, yeah, just he's come and he's just been. I mean, it was a brave move by Citroën to take him on in the first place, because okay, he's got a great pedigree behind him, but he's an unknown in World Touring Cars, and they plumbed for him, and they had the pick of the pack. Really, they could have anybody anywhere in the world for this program, and they went with Lopez, and well, he upset the apple cart because they had 2 multi-world champion Frenchmen with him, and he blitzed them, hasn't he?
122 points, the gap. He needed 115 with 4 races to go, and that is really why we're celebrating loosely his world